And this week on The Word of Life with Father Francis Lucas, the Executive Director of the Catholic Media Network, we continue to be informed and educated on the just concluded Synod of Bishops convened by Pope Francis in the Vatican. Good evening, Father, and welcome to NewsLife.
Good evening, Robert, and to our viewers.
Now, Father, to start us off, the call for openness did not appeal to the conservatives in the Church. Now, what was the basis to stay the course in maintaining their stand?
I think there's a lot of changes in the perspective and the openness in discussions. Just a matter of few votes, that's why there was this critical, seemingly disunity. But you know, there's a lot of changes, especially the very important issue of the Church embracing everybody, no matter who you are, what you are, whether you're a sinner or you're a saint.
Now, Father, did the Synod achieve significant changes on how the Catholic Church and its flock relate to the gays and divorced families who remarry?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that they continue to discuss it, but no, in the sense there are no conclusions yet, and we have to wait up to next year in October. And usually the problem would be how to balance, I would say, quote unquote, the letter and the spirit, you know, the mercy and also the doctrine, and the truth and the charity. So how to bridge that, I think, is an ongoing concern that will be again discussed up to next year on October 4 up to the 26th.
Now, Father, in a message, Pope Francis cautioned against hostile inflexibility. Now, what does he want to preach to the bishops and the flock of the Church now in the ever-changing, society that we have?
Well, he also said about the destructive tendency to do to goodness. What he's trying to tell us is you have to go deeper. You have to look at the root causes instead of just the symptoms of the big problems, especially in the family and the other issues that they discussed.
Now, Father, what are the barriers do you think that affect the unity of the family, especially among the Catholics?
There's so many, especially the signs of the times, like secularism, extreme materialism, or all these isms. But I just would like to put that, to dovetail that into two words. That is self-gratification. That I am the one who has the moral say about everything. And that moral say is, if I'm happy with it, everything is wrong. And if I'm not happy with that, everything is wrong for you, but also correct for me.
Now, Father, how long do you think this is going to take? And also in the message of Pope Francis, saying about inflexibility. What is your take on that?
At this point in time, there are already a lot of flexibility that is happening by the very mere fact that the Pope opened up all the documents. They were so transparent about it. He listened to all the discussions from all over the world and trying to come up with their own perspective and their own situations. And to allow them to keep on discussing is already a flexibility in the part of the Church. And waiting for next year and still discuss this in their own countries after the focus group discussion that they had in the small groups during the Synod.
We see this as we see from the messages of the Pope, but in the Synod, it seems that they seem to be divided in these discussions that they're having right now. What's your take on this one?
They're divided definitely on perspective, which I said earlier. It's the important part is the bridging. Like how do you give in to have a merciful heart when you see that people are, based on your belief, are wrong. So what the Pope is saying here, telling us here is, please care for everybody, despite who they are, what they are.
Now, Father, how important is the visit of the Pope in our country at a time in which social change could affect the relationship between the children and the parents?
I think the Pope, we have to wait for what he's going to tell us so that he can inspire us more and he can bring us tsunami of blessing, as Cardinal Tagle tells us, because he is very popular in the world today. But I think the inspiration of what he's going to tell the Filipino is quite important for us.
And Father, a final word of wisdom or advice to our people?
I just would like to quote Gaudium et Spes, that is joy and hope, from Paul VI, who was declared beatified. So in the document it says, the joys and hopes, the griefs and anxieties of the men of this age, especially the poor and those who are inflicted by it or afflicted by it, these are the joys and hopes the griefs and anxieties of the followers of Christ, which is exactly what the Synod is doing. Good night. God bless all of you, and keep God in your mind and in your hearts.
Okay, on that note, thank you very much, Father Francis Lucas, for the word of life you share with our people.